Forget everything you think you know about privacy, because the state you formed your LLC in might be quietly handing your name to the public the moment you hit renew. This isn't a conspiracy theory, it's a paperwork trap that thousands of business owners walk straight into every single year. Let's talk about Wyoming and why it sits in a completely different category than every other so-called anonymous state on the market. When you form an LLC there, the state registration form doesn't even have a box asking who owns the company. Not a field, not a line, not a footnote. No secondary filing requirement exists to capture your identity at formation. And more importantly, no follow-up mechanism kicks in during year 2 to drag your name back into the light. That last part is the one that almost nobody talks about, and it's where most of the damage quietly happens. See, states like New Mexico will let you form anonymously on day 1, and people celebrate that, pop the champagne, feel like they've cracked the code. But then renewal season arrives, and suddenly the state wants to know who's behind the curtain, and your name gets filed right alongside every other public record in the system. It's the jurisdictional bait and switch, and it's perfectly legal, completely predictable, and almost never explained to the person signing up. You thought you bought a private vault, but what you actually bought was a private vault with a revolving door installed in year 2. This is why structure and jurisdiction aren't just legal buzzwords, they're the actual foundation of whether your privacy protection holds or collapses under its own weight. The difference between Wyoming and most alternatives isn't just philosophical. It's mechanically, structurally, and permanently baked into how the state designed its filing system. Now, a lot of people hear anonymous LLC and immediately assume it's about hiding something shady, and that misconception has cost more legitimate business owners than it's ever caught a bad actor. Privacy in business structure is the same reason you don't publish your home address on a billboard. It's not illegal, it's just rational. The historical pattern here is strikingly consistent. Every time a wave of entrepreneurs discovers a privacy loophole in a given state, that state eventually tightens its annual reporting requirements, and the people who formed there early get caught flat-footed. Wyoming understood this cycle and built a system that simply removes the mechanism for disclosure entirely, rather than promising privacy and then walking it back quietly. There's an old saying in legal strategy circles that the best protection is the one that doesn't rely on anyone's good intentions. And Wyoming's lack of an ownership field on its form is exactly that kind of structural immunity. It's not that Wyoming promises to protect you, it's that the form was never designed to collect that information in the first place. Practically speaking, if you're using a holding company for real estate, operating businesses, or any asset protection strategy, the state of formation should be one of the first decisions you pressure test, not an afterthought you revisit after year 1. A Wyoming holding company paired with an operating LLC in your home state gives you the clean separation of identity at the top of the structure, while still letting you do business wherever you need to. Don't size this decision based on the cheapest formation fee or the fastest turnaround time, because the cost of losing your privacy in year 2 is significantly higher than the cost of getting the jurisdiction right from the beginning. Discipline in structure selection is the same discipline as position sizing and investing. Getting it right early compounds quietly over time, and getting it wrong is an expensive correction. The irony is that most people spend more time picking a business name than they spend evaluating the long-term privacy implications of where they form the entity. And that business name, by the way, will end up fully searchable in the public record of the wrong state long after they've forgotten they ever made that choice. At the end of the day, privacy is a feature, not a guarantee, and it only holds if the system you built it on was designed to hold it in the first place. Wyoming gets that right, structurally. And once you understand why, every other state's pitch starts sounding like a very confident contractor who forgot to read the building code. The calm in all of this is knowing that once the right structure is in place, it doesn't require you to fight for it, hide it, or hope no one looks too closely. You built it correctly. The form never asked, and the state simply has nothing to report. If you want help getting started, whether that's setting up the right holding company structure, investing in real estate, handling contracting work, or connecting with the right lenders, check out our links in the description below.